Good hello and welcome back to this week's Wargaming Whenever on our new Monday time slot. Because this is Wargaming Whenever, not Wargaming Tuesday. Deal with it, nerds. Tonight we've got Mitch, Zach, Cal, this dickhead, as always,
and Kitten.
and Kitten. Kitten is most important. Listen to the Kitten. The Hypno Kitten wants to bring you love. Wow, I just combined about as many different things I could think of off the top of my head and pissed off no one. Shame.
Oh, hail
Zach.
the hip! Oh, glory to the Hypnotoad.
Zach, can you confirm the rumor that Kitten used to be dating a rather senior ranking Tau?
It's not fucking Kitten.
Glorious.
Speaking of it's not law, what are we discussing this evening?
Oh,
Kitten was the bottom.
this evening we have some fun discussion. As soon as I find my show notes, which I've misplaced. They're here somewhere.
We have show notes.
We have
We
show
have show
notes.
notes.
There is a semblance of
organization.
and professionalism, which, frankly,
But no, Cal, we don't have show notes. I have show notes.
I was going to say, because I usually just send through a message in the chat like an hour beforehand saying, what are we talking about?
I have show notes that I put in the description of the stream when I set it up. I've just got to find it again.
so we were discussing.
Yes. So look, there's some guard releases coming up. Those are cool. There was a big game that we had recently. And
It is Warhammer related.
And yeah. There was
If you want to
also
get real
female
salty about
space marines.
If you want to get real salty about the price of the guard releases, I'm here for it. I just did the sums.
I haven't looked, and also my dog is in the fucking subway bag.
I don't think you can make me salty about the price of the guards release for two important reasons. One,
Okay.
I won't be purchasing them, so I don't care. And two, I just got to get this down so my wife doesn't hear, like $70 on 8 pieces of cardboard.
Jesus Christ, dog. I can't relate. I did not spend a grand total of nearly $200 on
Cardboard?
no cardboard related accessories.
Yes, cardboard accessories. So those who have probably figured it out, we both me and Zachary have got our hands on the Warhammer 40,000 Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond decks. Zach bought all four of them because he's an idiot.
Originally stating that he just wanted one, he was going to sell the rest off. In under
now he's
an hour and
taking
a
all of them.
half, it was, I have also ordered 500 sleeves.
Well, you know,
Which is fantastic.
I've bought more since. I've bought more sleeves. That is.
And
I
in
now
other
have,
news-
I have 200 more sleeves on the way, so I can double.
I remember when I was addicted to cardboard crack. Now I'm just addicted to plastic crack.
It's fine though.
That's fine. I'd rather you be addicted to plastic crack because line goes up.
You're only one step away from the good crack.
Yes.
Me buying plastic crack allows them to pay for real crack at the parties.
This is true. Some of the stuff that GW comes up to has to be fueled by cocaine.
Mm.
Only reasonable explanation for why
I will
Zach's
return
camera just
presently.
failed.
I turned it off so I can get up. I'm still going to be talking. I need to clean my screen.
Ah, right. For those that don't know, before the show started, Zach had to compose himself because Mitchell said something that will not be repeated. And Zach decided to spit booze all over his screen and camera and everything.
Yes.
which was
I'll be
mild-
here all week.
It was mildly amusing. So look, we'll get to the game that we had in a little bit. But while Zach is cleaning his screen, let's go ahead and look at some guard releases. This will be fun. Everyone loves doing this.
Allons-y, mes enfants. Let's go through the guard.
We
yeah.
are the Imperial Guard. It
This
is
is-
time we started acting like it.
That was became a bit orky there, Zach.
What? I mean, look, they're all fucking English, aren't they? They're just varying degrees of football hooligan.
Yeah. So new codex, Mitch. Can you confirm that the codex that came in the box like 3 months ago is nicer? It is nicer in my opinion.
I mean, is that not the point though? Like I thought the point was that you
Yes.
spend the money for the
It's
fancier
nicer.
boy.
The Fancy Boy is nice.
Wait, so limited edition is better than standard release?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say better, just nicer. Sort of like when you spend 3 times the price on cards just to have them all be foiled. Why do I do these things?
You don't.
Right, I don't. Although,
Just like
actually,
I didn't.
let's compare the box version to the actual, collector's edition. Because that's the actual collector's edition with the full art cover. I prefer the
And
one with
full
Lord
foil.
Solar on the front because Robot Horse.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like that is more guardy.
Yes, maybe so, but at the same time, I'm not going to pay $140 for the collector's edition.
No, absolutely the fuck not. When you've got like the Fancy Boy fucking Lord Solar on the other one, you want the Fancy Boy Lord Solar fucking.
I mean, look at this. Look, let's have a look at the description. It's the same 152 pages of the standard codex. All right, so you really have to be a fanboy to want to spend an extra
But with a soft
$50.
touch, full
$60.
art cover with silver foil detailing, printed page edges, and black ribbon page marker.
Oh, so that's why my Custodes one is the way it is.
And as of the data slate recently, it is now redundant.
Oh yeah, because of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my yeah, no. Oh, that's actually I didn't realize.
Zach, did you spend twice as much and get the collector's edition?
No, opposite. I bought the normal one and they gave me the collector's edition.
Look, can't complain about that.
I will have no complaints.
Look,
Well, if you send them a message saying with the complaint, I specifically wanted the standard edition.
I specifically wanted the shitter version.
I think you should contact GW support. They will happily send you the standard version.
No, they will.
They will.
Legitimately, they will. It was, yeah.
They're pretty good with that,
It was
actually.
an error on their part. They will just send you out the standard version of the bananas.
And then insist I send the.
Nope.
Nope.
No? Cool.
Nope.
Good, because there's a little bit of cat vomit on it.
Of course there is. So look, there'll be an actual Lord Solar model now, and
$98.
look, it's fine. Mechanical horse shining.
It's a character, and it's a big character.
You'll buy
That's-
one of them.
And it's on the
Oh.
cheap end for characters, let's be honest here.
It's a shit horse, though.
Well, good it's on the cheap end because this model seems oddly familiar to any of the AOS players.
Yes. We don't talk about Age of Sigmar.
Did I see
a
on
poo
the
game.
guard page that someone had actually made a Lord Solar conversion using Age of Sigmar parts?
Yep.
Yes,
And
that's
it's
right.
almost identical.
Glorious. I love it so much.
Is
Wait.
it an elf?
I'm gonna see if I
No.
can find that.
It's
No.
a.
Lord
Stormcast, isn't it?
Solar
Yeah.
conversion.
I'm scrolling through now.
Yeah, it's Stormcast.
Easily the best Lord Solar conversion.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
Why is
Um,
that coming up as the Lord's? Google, why do you do these things?
What did they use the Astrea Soulbright?
Yes.
Doesn't look. Yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't look like a fucking horse, so it's not even that similar. You fucking mong.
Robots are robots.
He's not a fucking robot.
He's a
The
robot.
horse is.
The horse is in fact a robot.
But the horse is a robot.
But look, Lord
uh,
Solar, it's 98,
fine.
98 Australian micro pesos.
Which is
Fine.
fine. That's what
It's
Abby
fine.
Daddy is.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's what you'd expect.
Creed.
Spawn.
Sorry, and that's
Can't
all-
believe they put an ugly woman in the
$77
game.
for her.
Why is she not hot?
Well, that's all we'll say about that. Is just Creed. Zach, we're not talking about triggered snowflakes and gender at the moment. We'll get to that.
Okay.
I do actually want to get into why you've got the Citadel color thing up here. Do you know the process of box painting and then the colors they come up with?
It's all bullshit.
Yep. So it's all airbrush and blending work, and then it is the closest colors that they have decided from the
Yeah, I
Citadel
believe it.
range to mark. Yeah.
It sounds about right.
That's why you can never paint box art with the colors specified.
Yes, I look at most box art and then the colors they specify, and I'm like, bullshit. No way.
Yep.
That's no.
It's a house
No.
of lies.
There's no way.
But that's okay because I like my colors better.
Look, some models I try to do the box art, but I don't use the color guide on it because it's just wrong.
I've actually never gone box art until I got this recent lot of Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, and just went like full on 80s, 90s animated X-Men.
So
Yeah, fair.
do we want to start getting real salty with the Cadian shock troops?
Yeah. So Mitch.
$84.
How shocked are you?
Oh, it's not that bad, Mitchell.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. That's the same price as a Plague Marine squad.
It's
Yeah,
but
98.
how many
So
98
I
points
don't
on
know
Plague
how many
Marine
you
squad?
get in a Plague Marine squad.
And if it's more than 7,
How many points is a Plague Marine squad?
95 now.
65 for these ones.
Close enough.
you know that's not how GW go about their pricing structures.
I know.
Look,
And this
Mitch,
is why
would-
I'm running an armored company. I thought it would be more expensive, but it's actually cheaper.
Glorious. Although, Mitch, do you know how many points a squad of bloodletters is?
No, tell me.
It's like 130 points or something.
Points or dollars? Sorry.
Yes.
Both. No,
Oh,
it's like 130 points for a squad of 10 of them, and off the top of my head, they're like 60 or 70 bucks a box.
I will find out for you.
look, that's not terrible.
Right now, as I have
70.
the games.
Keep in mind though, they're a
Workshop.
really old alt, so
Oh, they're old as balls, and they're 54.
54.
Look, I feel like getting to the point where 10-year-old sculpts are kind of serviceable. The only 10-year-old sculpt that I bought and I didn't like was the Empire, well, the Free Guild, I should say, great swords. And that's only because I feel like they should have more full plate. They should actually be in full plate armor rather than just heavy armor.
But they're not in full
Yes.
plate armor because they're basically lunch-necked.
Yeah, I know, but I like them in full plate armor.
Oh
You're
yeah,
saying that.
Plate
We-
armor,
we
more
see a
armor is
lot
better than
of
less
old
armor.
sculpts.
I'm going to put it out there. I am going to buy 9 more metal great swords if I can ever come across them.
But Mitch,
Look-
how much will you love having like 20 spare special weapons that you'll never use?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. That makes everything better.
Yeah, see, look, it's fine. The price is fine because there's like 20 spare
Especially-
weapons you'll never use.
Especially since they're a different scale to the old guard unit, so you can't even buy old guards and put the arms on it.
Yeah,
And
look, just take
And you can't even kit bash because everything comes in the box anyway.
Mitch, here's
You-
what you do. Take all of
You
those
think
spare,
it's just arm day.
take the spare special weapons, put them in a bucket, pour in some wood glue, mix it round till it's all nice and thoroughly mixed, and then just put it in a pile to dry. Orc pile of guns. It's a pile of guns.
Or
Which
something
is
actually
the
useful.
weapon upgrade building in Warhammer 40,000: Dawn of War.
Yes. Look, the command squad's fine.
77.
I'm naming this guy Fisto.
That's fair.
I'm gonna pan your rod so it can be Mephisto.
The new heavy weapons squads, they look very similar, but a bit more detailed.
$84. That stings, and they're not good enough to be worth buying.
The dice game bad. Everyone knows that.
Look, just go on eBay and get the old sculpts.
Mm.
3D printer go burr.
I still have old sculpts sitting around at my local hobby store. About $45.
Look,
I just
All
grabbed
I
them.
know
It's
is-
illegal.
That you won't have one of these as an old sculpt sitting around your local hobby store.
Why am I going to pay $150 for a tank that doesn't have a bottom?
Wait,
it
what?
doesn't have a bottom.
What?
No, it does not. It does not have a bottom panel. It opens straight into the middle of the chassis.
Yep.
That's why that's the meme that I said. They called it the Rogel Dawn because there's a bit missing.
Jesus. Why?
James,
James, what are you
So-
thinking?
The reason was they wanted to have more options on the spruce, and it was either have a completely, a flat bottom tank or have options, and they went with options, which sounds more consumer until you get to the fact that I'm going to have to 3D print.
Look, just put a sheet of plastic card along the bottom. It'll be fine.
Yeah, honestly,
No.
I could probably get away with doing that.
I mean,
No,
how
what,
often does
what
the
you're
bottom of the
actually
tank get
going
looked
to
at?
do is you are going to print out the bottom half of Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, put their feet on the other side, and then you're going to have an Easter egg.
Oh, no, slightly better idea. Same concept, but orc feet.
Definitely not orcs.
Definitely not orcs. And just like slice it into like quarters and have orc feet coming out of the bottom of each quarter.
I feel like that's exactly what the guy who has been doing the Orc Imperial Guard army is going to do.
I hope so. And we look pictures or it didn't happen.
I just love, and it's a very, very off topic. I just love that apparently the Hell Blaster volley gun is in fact a Hellstorm rocket battery.
Yeah, they come in the same kit.
Yeah,
Oh, do
makes
they?
sense.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You know what you should actually do, because the empty hole in the chassis actually looks about the same size as the small remote control cars you can get from Kmart.
Yes. Do it.
Ooh,
Do it.
now we're talking.
Yeah, that
Power
makes it a
return.
gameplay.
Look,
Hmm.
Cal,
Just like
you
the
are
old, just like
expected
the
to
old
do that.
basilisk weapons that used to be able to put a rubber band in, and they actually used to be able to fire projectiles in fantasy.
Actually, look, looking at that gun, I reckon if you were to hollow that out, put a little coil, like a magnetic coil in there, you could fire a little, like, just a small little bit of metal
Yeah.
out of it.
I wish
Remote
to point
control.
out at the moment that railguns are not illegal under Australian firearms law because
Wait,
Australian
really?
firearms law only defines firearms as being propelled either by chemical reaction or by compressed air.
Are you
Correct.
are you shitting me?
I'm not.
That's literally why gel blasters can't exist in Australia yet.
Well, I'm going to feel
Except
less
in
anxious.
Queensland,
Except in
because
Queensland.
Queensland is based.
I'm
And
going
nobody
to,
cares if they get shot.
in that case, I'm going to feel far less nervous about the science experiment in my garage.
Don't tell me
Alright.
from New South Wales.
I'm not your dad, but I am proud of you.
Thanks. It's about
You could
time
probably
someone
actually
was
fix
proud of me.
You could probably fit flywheels in the Baneblade as well if you wanted to actually fire some kind of foam dart.
Ooh. Look, Mitch, you know what you have to do.
I do.
I will
I
provide
do know what I
you.
have to do.
I will design and print the PCBs to control it if you want.
I might take you up on that offer.
But slightly off topic. Field ordnance batteries. I fucking hate these things. They're beautiful models, don't get me wrong. But over the last couple of months, Chris has just been pounding the shit out of my infantry with them, and I'm sick of it.
Is that a euphemism?
But
Yes
stuff.
and no.
Butt stuff.
$90. One of those models is
Wait,
45.
90 models for the model or butt stuff?
Both.
That's
Using
cheap.
Queensland. Yeah.
I guess we find ourselves getting to the point of asking what is cheaper, a Games Workshop
Warhammer.
model, or shall we say fleeting pleasures?
Definitely Games Workshop model.
Yeah,
Trust me.
Depends on where you
Trust
frequent, I suppose.
All right, noted. Moving right
Trust
along.
me.
In both cases, a place called Gat Games is cheaper.
Jesus. Wow.
I got some pals who are about some shit, and they are a lot more expensive than Warhammer 40k.
Oh,
you
we've
know
got
what my favorite part about this model is?
Is it basically just an open face ATST?
Yes, but more importantly, I'm able to make 9-inch charges out of Deep Strike against them.
Because their leadership is poo?
No, with Castle and Crow.
I don't care.
I made a 9-inch charge out of Deep Strike and then stabbed it. And
Oh,
it died.
right. So you succeeded in doing something one time, and that means that you can do it all the time.
Confirmed.
No. I did it one time, and that means that I successfully did it that one time.
But you said that you like them because you can make those charges
Yes,
against them.
I've determined that the dice god when I'm charging these swings in my favor.
So what you're saying
Off of
is
my
exactly
sample
what I
size of
said,
one.
despite the fact that you declined and denied that you said what I said.
Correct, because you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's called doublethink, Zachary.
I
It's
will
where you
piss in
hold
your
two
fucking mouth.
You keep promising this but never deliver.
I'm very tired.
Baneblade.
Just on a point, the Armored Sentinel is
Oh.
$77.
Yes.
It is
Which
very
is only
pretty,
which is only a slight increase of what the previous kit was.
True. I don't think they've ever been
though.
overly
It's got
expensive.
They
curvy
haven't.
panels now though. Curvy panels.
If somebody wants old school Sentinels, I have 2 for sale.
If somebody wants a
I
brand
want
new
to
sculpt that's
orcify
a lot
them.
cheaper and the same size and same aesthetic, Legion models at retail are almost half the price of Games Workshop.
But do they have curvy panels, Callum?
No, they just look better.
No curvy. Sorry, it's a no from me. No curvy panels.
I don't know.
No, look, okay. No one
It's got to be
thinks.
thick.
No one thinks
With
the
2 Cs.
ATRT is even. Oh wait, you're referring to the ATST. Apologies.
Taste. Yep.
I was gonna say because for some reason my brain was like, obviously he's talking about the ATRT, which is a poo design.
Yes, that is a terrible idea.
Actually, I'm curious
Even
how
in a
close in
galaxy far,
scale
far
those
away.
would be. Cal, I need you to
They're
go and
almost
buy.
identical.
Really?
Yeah.
Look, I expect you to go buy one of each and compare them now.
Warhammer and Legion are basically the same scale. The
Interesting.
characters are a touch smaller, but that's really
And would
bad.
die to most of them.
Yes.
No, Darth Maul took out Primaris Chaplain. I did that on
Yeah,
the on the
but
channel
Darth
last week.
Maul is you. Yeah, but you're the one that made those conversions, and you can't be trusted.
No. That comes from the Fandex, the CIS codex.
Okay. Wow, the fan decks, they are so reliable. There's no way they might buff the thing that they are making a fan dex of.
How else am I running this? And one of them's going to have made up something.
Look,
That's
the made up thing
problem.
is that
Corporate sponsorship.
also, yes.
Look.
No.
Anyway,
Look.
Baneblade. We've got to
It's
have
the
it.
Bane Blade.
We must convert, Mitch. I expect all of your tanks to fire projectiles.
A tall ask, but possibly doable.
I mean, the barrels should be big enough to be able to get something to work.
With a homebrewed rule of you don't make hit and wound rolls, you physically
point and
fire
shoot.
the model, and
Yes.
whatever model you knock over has just instant death.
I'll allow it.
So where we're going to come into difficulties here is where are we going to put the thing, because the barrel's got to stay in one. The barrel tilts, as you can see, squeaky, and there has to be an armature or something in here. We can either put it a little bit further back down the barrel, or I mean, I'm not saying it's not doable. I might have to crack this thing open and give it another go, but it is doable.
What you're probably better off is cutting off and just putting a piece of brass tubing to be your barrel. You're going to have to have something with some kind of decent fit.
Or we don't do that.
Oh, look, it's happening, Zachary, whether you like it or not. But look, war crimes aside, Leman Russ battle tank is this any
going back
different
up to the Baneblade?
What do they mean, the Lehman Russ battle tank? It's the same fucking kit.
That's what I was about to say. Isn't this exactly the same kit?
No,
Yeah, but
because
they've
they
always
rolled the
modeled
Demolisher
it.
into the Lehman Russ now.
So there was a separate kit for Demolisher, was there? And then a
Yeah.
Forge World kit for the better ones.
Is it
It
really
took
a
up
new kit though?
literally a quarter of one sprue for the
Is it
Demolisher.
really a new kit though? If they've just taken two existing kits and
It's
No,
literally
it's
just
not.
like
It's
a
a
Rhino and Razorback.
It's a reboxing that costs $10 more in Australia, and I don't like it.
To be fair, since that reboxing, we've also had 2 price hikes. So everything has gone up roughly that much.
that's a
It was
valid
supposed to be
point.
about a 7%, I think the rise was between the 2 rises.
I guess that is inflation, but I don't like it.
No,
Yeah.
inflation is the fact that air at the server used to be free and now it's a couple of dollars.
But it is?
Not at my servers.
I'm joking.
I haven't. No, I was gonna say I
I'm
haven't
playing on the
checked.
word inflation, Zachary.
I'm going.
Anyway, now on to what should probably concern guard players the most. Are you ready, Mitchell, to see this?
Is the
What,
fact
the
that they're
fucking
only a
Gene Stealer
step away
cult?
from historical war games.
The guard have in fact been infiltrated by the Gene Stealer cults.
Yes.
It does look a little bit Gene Stealerish.
It's
A
very
little bit.
Gene
concede that.
Stealerish.
A
Look,
little bit.
I've already seen a bundle of people talking about they've ordered one to make it an alternative Magnus skull.
Magus.
Magus,
Not
Magus.
Magnus.
I don't care.
No, they're two very different things. One's a
how do you
fucking
spell-
10-foot tall
Here we go,
Cyclops
40K.
who's fucking red, and one's a bald cunt.
Look,
Except I didn't pronounce the N in the way that I said it.
Mitch.
No, you did.
Magus.
Yes,
Magus?
I do see the resemblance.
Fucking
Primaris-
heretic!
Magus. Actually, this one's probably a better resemblance. Magus.
Yes.
Primaris Psycho.
Definitely not
Magus.
Magus.
Primaris Psycho.
Magus.
Magus. Primaris Psycho. It's almost like Warhammer Plus foretold this with a recent episode of Hammer and Bolter.
I
It's almost
actually
like no one
the
watches
head
that.
a lot better. I
Look,
like the
I
head
watched
sculpt a
it,
lot
Zachary.
better in this one.
No, you didn't.
Well, I don't use psychers anyway.
They are heresy.
And
Everything is heresy.
my warriors are armored with faith.
Faith is heresy.
Onward,
though?
Christian soldier.
Yes, everything is heresy, Zach. You know what they say? Do you suspect heresy? If yes, probably heresy. If no,
If
you are
no-
bad inquisitor.
Yeah, correct.
Then look, there's data cards, there's dice. They look nice.
They do look nice.
They do look nice. And a print bundle because you have
Let's
too
make a-
much money.
So
Let's make a bundle which is the exact same price as buying everything separately, and they all come in separate boxes, but you'll also get a printout.
Yeah.
shall we run some sums if we were to see what
Let's-
the cost of the army box is versus the individual components?
I'm surprised you haven't already done that maths, Mitchell.
Oh, I
I
did that
think-
earlier. I'm just
I was
wondering if
gonna
we want to
say.
do it on the show.
It's just-
Look,
of course I did.
how about you just tell us to save some time?
Here's one I
Right.
prepared earlier.
So the code, the box, army box comes out to about 335. If you were to buy all the components individually, you would be paying about 550.
So it's good
That-
value.
It's
Sounds
very
like the
good
armor box is
value.
good value.
It's very good value.
So speaking of Gap Games,
And that is the RRP. You can usually find these boxes for about $265 these days.
Yes.
and if you go to places like Gap and Emerald, they're always 20%.
Stop trying to.
if not more.
No,
Carol, did you get a Gap Game sponsorship?
I think he's got a Gap Game sponsorship, and he's not told us, and he's trying to get me in trouble with the algorithm by having an undeclared sponsorship.
I'm not saying anything. Don't worry, Brett.
Well, sorry, Brett. I buy from Emerald Hobbies because it's funny to me to get my
Hobbies.
hobbies from the middle of fucking nowhere.
Emerald's comparatively near where I live.
No, it's
When-
fucking not.
Compared to
Nothing is actually no. There are things comparative to where you live, but Emerald's not fucking one of them.
Oh look, next week we're
I'll
shipping
have
Mitch off
you
to Mount
know.
Isa.
You'll have me know that you're wrong. I know that area, motherfucker.
In all jokes aside, though, like when I like to make big purchases, I go to Gap Games for up to 21% off all wargaming, war gear and accessories, and up to a 5% bonus
say,
for
I'll
an
fix
army building.
Yeah, I fixed the problem.
Look, I'll put it to you this way. It's 7 hours 35 minutes to Emerald from here, which is
That's
12
not
hours closer than you guys are.
That's true, but it's still not
You-
fucking close.
Look, I reckon I can do it in 1
it's
hour.
rural Queensland. It's close.
I can do it. I
It's
reckon
not
I can
rural,
do
it's
it in
fucking
1
remote
hour.
Queensland, cunt.
How
Anyway,
far away are you from Gap Games?
like
You can
3
express
hours.
delivery in under 1 to 2 days.
Where's Gap Games?
The
Base?
Gap.
The gap.
You're like an hour. You're like
somewhere in-
2.5.
somewhere in Brisbane?
You're at 3.5, maybe 4 hours away.
Mitch, I'll send you the grid coordinates later. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Appreciate that.
Just make sure that you load extra artillery.
Okay, but I do have another question. What do you guys think about the guards aesthetically with the new
Yeah,
kits?
I
They're nice.
fucking nailed it. 2 hours 52 minutes to the Gap from King of Roy.
That
Yeah,
is
that's about what
closer
I'm
than
getting.
you, Zach.
And Mitchell is doxed.
Yeah, you'd run down through Moore and Collington and Blackbutt and shit, Yarraman, yeah, all those boys areas. I know those spots.
Ugh.
Those spots are shit. That's Johnny Maguire, Deacon Roberts fucking hood.
And Zach
Robin Hood.
is so instead of anti-Semitic shit this time, it's doxing.
Yeah, doxing television technicians.
Wow, Zach. Wow.
Oh, we are going to have to blank that.
If you have
I'm
a
not
complaint,
doxing them. I
contact
don't
Zachary
fucking
on
live there.
0432.
That's not my number.
I know, it's actually the first part of mine.
It's 043.
Wow. Anyway, look, Garda.
If you'd like to hear more about Gap Games, contact me on 0432.
There. Look, Guard pretty. They'll be even
Pretty
more pretty.
shit.
They'll be even more pretty on my flayed ones.
I think they're getting a
Yeah,
step
have you modeled those
closer.
yet?
Human Steve.
I'm waiting to pick up the Guard helmets from Christopher. But don't worry, my flayed ones will be wearing Guardsmen.
Yeah, that's deserved. I will say that. That
I
is
mean,
deserved.
they did murder you pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
But look, that's Guardsmen. Their new models are pretty and possibly usable in more than just the Guard army.
Debatable.
And
It's not debatable,
probably
it's very clear.
Probably the last step towards being a Warhammer player into going into historical wargaming.
Or the first step from a historical wargamer into Warhammer.
More likely.
Oh,
You
no,
don't- you
more
don't get
likely.
backwards.
I'm already into historical wargaming. I just
Yeah,
can't find
generally
anyone
speaking, you
to
don't
play with.
you don't go from Warhammer to the other
This is
because
true.
Unless you're a nerd like me.
But look, speaking of other games that are not Warhammer, Magic. As we said at the onset, someone went and bought, how much was it? $480 of cardboard?
$435 or $40 and then $20 express posting to get it to me the next day.
Man, money like that could pay off a speeding ticket that I may or may not have got.
I don't
And
leave the house, so I can't get a speeding ticket.
Yeah, can't get a speeding ticket if your car's broken.
But the best part is the night that he got everything, went to go and game. He comes back, first message, card game bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Card game was
Look.
bad because 72 Death Touch insect tokens.
That was very amusing. So yeah, that's how Zach died.
That's how everyone died.
That's
Actually, no,
how
it's not
everyone died.
You died because we decided you were an annoying cunt and we all ganged up on you.
I died because I made the one mistake that I could have possibly made, which was trying to be nice and distribute the love evenly instead of just beating someone into a pulp.
Ironically, he's the one playing the Imperium deck. I was the one playing the
Yeah.
Chaos deck, where Nurgle would be the sort of person who would want to spread the love equally.
Yeah, so I tried to spread the damage around, pissed off the other 5
Everyone.
people at the table, so everyone just kind of pounded on me and then murdered the shit out of me.
It was very
You-
satisfying.
Sounds deserved.
It was.
Sounds like Neshi.
To be fair, in that game, I still played more cards than Zach did.
Mm-hmm.
I played more cards.
Play cards when you're dead.
I didn't draw more cards. I just played more cards because that was the other thing that was very amusing that happened.
Oh, did you break?
We thought he was going to draw himself to death for a moment.
I almost drew myself to death because I popped. Let's see. Do I have it in my hand at the moment? Let's see.
See, the big issue is
look,
if you don't shuffle the deck,
I
all
used
the
a
lands are
spell.
on the bottom.
I used a spell. It was a lovely spell. Decree of Pain. I just found it. For 8 mana, 2 of which are black, you destroy all creatures and they cannot be regenerated. And then you draw a card for every creature destroyed this way. I destroyed 58 creatures with that particular spell.
Yeah, there were 37 beast tokens on the table at the time, plus,
Mm.
the usual littering of creatures around the place.
I have to know did you draw out your entire deck?
Almost.
Almost.
Did you have to discard your hand down to 7?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Unfortunately.
times.
I hope to goodness you discarded all the lands you didn't need.
I kept I think like 2 lands, and then because I still need. It's always good to have a bit of extra mana. But I mostly kept some. I kept a couple of creatures and a couple of good spells. I think there was a lot in there. I didn't want to go through all fucking 60s fucking 5 cards or whatever it was.
58 cards.
Including my hand.
Oh yeah, so yeah, like 65 cards.
Mm.
The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure in that deck, there's I forget the name of the land, but it removes hand size.
I don't know. I haven't gone through the whole deck because there's a lot of cards. I can't be fucked.
There's a very good chance you would have drawn that card. I'm fairly sure it's in that deck. But if you just played that, you wouldn't have had to discard the hand size.
Look, here's the deal. I probably didn't have it.
I mean, we won't know because you didn't check.
I didn't check. Also, Dynafire.
What if? No.
All right. So, what are the standout cards that you guys have come across in the last week?
Look, as far as the cards in the Imperium deck, I reckon Greyfax is the funnest commander to play. There is something very satisfying about your opponent going to combat, you knowing full well they're about to swing a really big creature at you, and just like, so just before you do that, I'm going to tap that creature so it can't attack me, and in the process, I'm going to create a clue that will give me card draw later.
Fair and tasty.
And, handing out Vigilance and +1/+0 to everything else you have is nice too.
It is nice.
Yeah.
On Thursday, we are doing Invasion Day Magic.
Yes.
It may just end up being you and me, Jonathan and Sky.
Possibly. Nick said maybe.
Nick, you fucking cuck.
And Reese is always a maybe. Might have to see if we can drag Cal out of the house. Unless he's working. Not you.
I don't think he is. But
proper
yeah,
Cal we like.
Yeah, the cow we like.
White cow.
Yeah, white cow.
Wow.
Wow.
So you bunch of white fellas enjoy your Invasion Day celebrations?
We ain't celebrating
I
shit.
feel aggressively indifferent about it. Because
that's part of the reason I usually work on it. It was like I don't know. It's like
look,
it's just a day.
I don't.
I mean, like obviously it's not for Indigenous, like First Nations people and Indigenous Australians, but like.
I don't like warm beer and Triple J enough to care.
It's not on the Triple J.
No,
Even Triple J have abandoned it.
Really?
They do it
Yeah,
on Saturday now.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's almost been a decade, I think.
Yeah,
this is how much I don't care.
It has been a minute.
Look, I reckon we just change it to January 27th. And
I say we we just why not? I know, literally thinking about this yesterday. People are like, "Oh, we can't make it the day of Federation because that was the 1st of January." It's like, okay, make it the 1st of January, and we have 2 public holidays in a row.
Wouldn't that be
at
grand?
The start of the year?
As an Australian, I love public holidays.
It is an Australian thing to have public holidays.
You know what I reckon we should do? Make it like Melbourne Cup, where you only go from like fucking 2:00 in the afternoon, and you still got to go to work next day.
See, this is the thing. Like, I don't think. No, that's the other podcast.
That is the other
podcast. Let's not get too deep into politics.
Welcome to politics. Whenever.
The podcast I still haven't been invited to. I'm sure there's nothing at all.
We already have a loony lefty.
I was going to say, I have actively volunteered for this show multiple times and has met with, I've got to go now, bye.
Wow. Yeah, but he's not as loony as me.
This is true, Zach. But I'm not anti-Semitic in the process.
Look, you fucking dog cunt. I'm not fucking anti-Semitic! Anyway.
That's something someone anti-Semitic would say.
Anyway,
Anyway.
over or under? No, wait, no, not over under. Female Space Marines.
Oh yes, female Space Marines. So if any of you that have been on the internet
Ever. At
ever,
all.
will know
Especially in
that
the last week.
Especially the
oh
last one.
jeez, Cal, I swear if I find out that this was your fault, I'm going to come to Goulburn and give you the full Hessian bag and concrete shoes treatment.
I have
Look,
his address, so I can dox this piece of shit right now.
Look, I don't think it was my fault. It was just pure coincidence that it started 3 hours after I posted a video
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence. Pure
I-
coincidence.
Oh, look, I upset a group of,
dink.
I upset a group of 25,000 gatekeepers, and there's been a bit of a rampage ever since.
On the one hand, you're wrong about female Space Marines. On the other hand, upsetting gatekeepers sounds based.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, upsetting
you think
gatekeepers
so?
is just it's
I'm
classic.
very much convinced that's the reason Cal did it as well.
Oh yeah.
What the
just
black
get-
fella wanted to upset the white cunts.
Yes, that's exactly why.
They wanted to upset the racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic white cunts. Oh, shocking.
Don't forget that they're also Nazis.
And what's that? I did it in 5 minutes and 35 seconds.
I feel that was implied, Jonathan.
Look, anytime anyone says female Space Marines, I have that GIF from Mad Max Fury Road in my head.
That's
bait.
That's bait.
It is bait.
That's
I mean, that's all that
It is
Cal
bait.
does over there is just bait. He
You
truly
can
is
say
the
he's a
master.
master at it.
He is a master at
Look,
it.
I'm pretty good at this. To be
Look-
fair, in year 8, I debated my way out of being a debate club after winning the multi-school debate division.
Why?
It's like, I'm going to
why?
argue about this because I don't want to.
Why are you? Just why?
I'm surprised
are
I
you?
hadn't found the internet earlier.
So,
So yeah,
Here's the
female
thing.
Space Marines.
female Space Marines.
I don't care.
I mean, like, yes, ultimately, I also don't care. I don't think they should be. Not because, probably actually because of slightly different reasons to why most people don't think they should be.
Because they ruin all the franchises, like Black Elves, apparently.
Oh yes,
I'm pretty sure the Black
that
Elf
very-
in that show was the only good character that was well
He
played.
was. and he
let's-
also wasn't even that black.
Let's
I'm
make
pretty
one
sure he
thing
might
clear.
have
like
been
you-
Latin American.
It was my
Um,
like,
Let's make one. Here's my hot take. Here's my
Oh, here we
hottest of
go.
hot takes.
Oh, this will be good.
So, casting black, people of color in a franchise like that is racism. And I'll tell you why it's racism. Because these companies are not planning to make a good show. They're planning to make an aggressively mediocre show that does a disservice to the fandom. And when it inevitably fails and people don't like it, the companies will then throw their their people of color actors under the bus, and they'll say, "See, you're all racist for not liking it because we have black people in it." No, don't use people of color as your shield against criticism.
Look, here's the thing, and this actually, and
that
I'm
was the
Operation
whitest
Bad.
thing I've heard on the internet in quite some time.
You're most
but
welcome.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not
So,
wrong.
Here's the thing, and this
He's
is
just
and,
not
like,
black enough to be the one saying it.
there was a video I saw, and I'll say two things. First of all, the first thing will be in response to what Messenger said. Is a guy, he's an Australian bloke, a left wing bloke, a communist,
A communist.
self-described, a communist.
Communist.
No,
Very
communist.
different.
Communist. And if you get
With an L.
if you get that reference, good for you.
And he was talking about I believe it was Call of Duty Vanguard, and there's a difference between being indifferent or like it's just like because there is nothing in Tolkien's work that says that elves are all white cunts. And the idea of an elf who is of color is cool. He's a bloke.
correct me
is
if
the
I'm
fucking
wrong,
bloke.
but the color of the elf's skin's not really mentioned.
It's never mentioned. The color of their hair quite often is mentioned, but that's about it.
Even then, only like the main characters because they're
And
trying to
exactly.
shine them into a light. Yeah.
But so in this particular, what Mitch is sort of talking about, I believe, is tokenism.
But it more than that, it's an
So
aggressive sort of tokenism that pretends to be woke, but in fact is damaging to the perception of people in color.
It is probably more woke in the pejorative sense that conservatives believe the term is intended for.
Like let's look at The Witcher. Anya Chalotra, she's of Indian ancestry, and she did an excellent job as
She did an
Yennefer.
amazing job. Yeah. And like, you know, like, but listen, like, so what this guy's video talks about was there is a section of the single player campaign of Vanguard where you are playing as part of I can't remember, it's like the 91st or the 93rd division.
One of them, yeah.
One of those two, which was an American infantry division. They were all African American.
Yeah.
And they served in the Pacific campaign. Now, in the game, first of all, the game is set a year before they existed. This whole division existed. So, first of all, the historical accuracy is gone out the window, which usually can be things like. But then every single fucking character. Oh, actually, take it back. They weren't all black. They were mostly black, and there was a couple of Latino and Latino, people in there as well. But they're all fucking caricatures. They're all like, oh, they call people honkies, and they talk about fucking chicken wings, and they say fucking
the worst kind of
yeah.
caricatures.
It's literally
Stereotypes,
just
that's not weird.
stereotypes of African American and like fucking Latino American peoples. And it's fucked. Like, it's just, I think, and I'm just sort of saying, like, I think that's kind of the thing that you mean there, Mitch, in that, like, you're criticizing, like, tokenism, and just sort of being like, the black friend, basically.
Well, yeah, that sort of thing. But even going further and positioning people of color to take the fall, like deliberately throwing them under the bus, because I don't.
They're definitely like
because that's never happened before.
Because with Call of Duty Vanguard, it was a bad game to begin with.
It was not a good game.
No one criticized the fact that there were minorities in it, because it was just a bad game to begin with. And I would have loved to have played, say, something like a World War II game with, say, the Red Tails in it. African American pilot. Is it? I think it's that, or the Tuskegee Airmen, or something like that.
The Tuskegee Airmen, they're all black men. Yep.
Exactly.
African American pilots.
That is cool. Like,
or there's that Japanese American division that is the most I think it is the one I was talking about. That African American division is the single highest decorated unit in American history.
There's Japanese American
and the Japanese American ones as well.
Fighting Italy. One guy took like massive wounds, and I know about this from Flames of War because they actually made a miniature for this guy. It was actually really cool. Like, no one, and like Age of Empires 4. I know this isn't wargaming, but hey, it's RTS. It's adjacent.
Close enough.
But like, they just released the Mali, and they play really differently.
Oh, did
they?
It's
really good.
Was that free content? Because I might check it out.
Yeah, it's free content. I'm not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored, but I'm not. But
Age of Empires 4 was an
free or
okay
is it
game.
actually $60?
See, no one cares.
Fuck off! I was misled.
No one cares.
Like,
if there's people of color, if the story is good, and we're feeling a kinship with them.
I disagree. I disagree. I think
you're right. There are racist people out there.
We're looking at two separate things.
Maybe so.
It's. I think part of the issue is, like, you're partially correct, is that companies like Amazon, companies like Netflix, these multi-million-dollar media companies, as a general rule, they are so fucking terrified of A, offending anyone, and B, trying anything.
Mm.
Everything is a beige, boring, mediocre product.
But
You
it
know,
kind of has to
problem-
be in
I can
the
get
social
behind that.
climate
The-
that we have now.
The problem is that by even but what you have is that by even having, like, I think a great example is the sequel trilogy of Star Wars.
Oh god, this again.
This again.
The fact
So-
that it gets blamed on not
John
light,
Boyega
when actually
and Daisy Ridley, they copped so much fucking
Mhm.
hate
I thought they did a
simply
good
for
job in
being a
those
black
movies.
man and a woman.
they did as best they could with what they
And
were provided.
yes, and the
this-
fact of the matter is that those movies were shit.
What
Right?
color were the writers? That's the question.
The Last Jedi, I don't love it. I haven't really been able to watch any of the movies in a very long time. I get bored and turn them off. And while I don't think The Last Jedi is a great movie or even necessarily a good movie, I do respect that Rian Johnson tried to do something with it,
Mm.
which is more that can be said for J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams is the worst person to helm that. I was so angry when I heard
Oh,
he was doing it, because I'm just going to be like, it's just going to be lens flares, like the first Star Trek movie, and that was an absolute betrayal of what Star Trek was supposed to be.
Yes,
Star
but
Trek
those
is not
movies
about
were
action.
actually but those movies
was
were actually
fucking
good
excellent,
because
yeah.
the performances of the actors
Mm.
made up for the fact that it was not really Star Trek.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Star Trek. And
While Into Darkness was basically Khan.
so when like you say, with
So like it's basically, I feel like what happens, it's not, I don't know if it's intentionally done that way. I'm sure that to some extent it might be, but
I think
a
it
lot
is.
of people ignore the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
In that regard, they tend to blame the fact that something sucks upon the fact that there is a gay person or a black person or a
Mhm.
Jew or a woman or all of the above in something,
And
and not the fact that it's just shit.
let's be clear. Some people are absolutely racist.
Oh, to be sure.
But at the same time, when I see media outlets saying that the only reason people hate this is because they are racist, that is throwing more fuel on the fire.
Yeah, but let's be honest, most media outlets are also rubbish.
Yes, this is
Really?
also true.
Shocking.
So
No
so
disagreement from me there.
tailing back to
To
the
female
actual
Space Marine.
subject, here's a question. Would a female Primarch and female Space Marines actually ruin the game?
I
No.
have a take on this that Mitch will maybe find based.
Because the law doesn't fucking matter. It's
Law doesn't matter.
If
Yeah.
they
been
did, if
retconned
they
more
were
than
to
once.
do it, it'd be fine because it's their IP. I'm sure they can either have some brilliant writers at GW. I'm sure they could find a way to write it in a way that people would be able to accept. You know,
Call
That's
apart
how
solve
they
from
the
work.
problem.
Right.
That's how they're gonna. That's how they would do it. Call
Ex-
solve the problem.
except
Yeah.
for the sexist bigoted shitheads that they'll never accept it. But I think what would be a better thing to do would be to flesh out the Sisters of Battle the way that the different Space Marine legions and chapters are fleshed out. Because
No,
the
see, 'cause
Imperium,
that
the
avoids
Imperium,
the-
However-
Cal, wait. The Imperium already has a faction of power armored females that exist. So you already have a base existing, and it would make it much easier to sell. Which ultimately, at the end of the game, that's what Games Workshop's trying to do: is to sell a product.
So two things.
That and a Salamander's ripoff of Sisters of Battle would be hilarious.
One, which is the more serious answer, and two, which is the answer which will be very annoying to certain people, which I did see discussed in a group that I'm in. That isn't actually Warhammer related, interestingly enough. So the first thing is, I don't think there needs to be female Space Marines.
I mean, there doesn't
Mostly
need to
because-
be anything.
True, but mostly because it defeats the point and purpose of what Space Marines are meant to be, which is the pinnacle of the fascist idolization of masculinity. That is what they are. They are tall, they are strong, they are emotionless, they are warriors.
They're the conservative
That is what
stereotype
they
of
are.
masculine.
Correct. Secondly, there are, in the Sisters of Battle, in the Eldar, in the Tau, in the Imperial Guard, in the Inquisition, there are many, many, many ways in which femininity and stuff like that is represented in more interesting ways than I am beefcake. So that's sort of it's like I don't care. So it's that's sort of where it comes from. It's like I don't think they should, but if they decided to, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, so I'm in
Um,
pretty much the same camp
yeah.
with you on that. I reckon if they want to go down that avenue, the Sisters of Battle is where I think they would be able to sell more product.
But then here's the other thing.
That does
Here's the
nothing
other.
to
No,
warrant
this is the other
idea
thing,
of
and this is
female
the
Space
thing that
Marines,
will.
though.
This is the thing that upsets all of the fuckwits. The amount of genetic and physical modification that a Space Marine goes through.
I don't think you can really give them a gender anymore.
Well, exactly. They're all trans. Space Marines are trans.
You play a strat called Transhuman.
They are all trans.
It's in
You
there.
They are
literally
transhumans.
you literally could make a fucking Space Marine that is fucking biologically female, and it will look no fucking different to the other fucking blokes because they're a fucking trans man.
Yeah,
And-
they're all taking pre-puberty anyway.
So
You're
at the end of the
essentially
day,
talking eunuchism.
they are literally at a point where gender and gender expression is fucking meaningless. They refer to each other as brother simply because that is how they've always referred to each other since they were created. And that is how they are psycho conditioned to refer to each other.
That's because they were supposed to be like with your religious iconography of Road Traeger back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, true. Back in the day, it
the
was
whole
a little bit like
the whole brother
warrior
thing came-
monks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
That's how we have like the old Road Trager models, like the name characters are like brother Darren and brother Blake. And yes, those are real models.
But yeah,
Sure.
that's what it ultimately is like. There is literally nothing stopping you because they are at the end of the day your dudes, and your dudes don't have to be born dudes.
Well, see, here's the thing. To me, law doesn't matter. I don't get married to
Oh, law doesn't
any
matter.
kind of religion.
Oh, law doesn't
Law-
matter,
the law-
Cal. We
the
know
law
this very
changes.
much so.
Yeah.
Nothing matters to
I-
you. You don't read the rules.
No.
You don't read anything.
But see, like law, even if law did matter, it's been retconned so many times that it wouldn't hurt for one more. But Jono was right with the writers before. Like there's so many great writers, and GW have more than the resources to attract even better writers to come up with creative solutions of bringing things in. But literally the idea in the very beginning was that the 2nd and the 11th Legions were left out for creativity. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that the 2nd couldn't come back as a female Primarch. We've already seen a bunch of different fan theories that can support that very easily. There's literally two instances, that I know of in lore where they've referred to the 2 dead Primarchs as a brother, which they were only actually talking about one Legion in particular. It really wouldn't matter. Like Erda was a fucking female on scale.
No.
with the
You don't
Emperor.
talk about Erda because that upsets them a lot.
Yeah, Primarchs have a mum. Like,
I know, right?
Here's the thing. Like, I put it in the video. Like, if Call and the Emperor can make fucking Primarchs, they can work a working vajayjay. Like, that should have been a little more easier than what they accomplished otherwise.
but yeah, like that's the thing is at the end of the day,
Gatekeeper's
what
going to
is
gatekeep.
gender?
Yeah.
What gatekeeper's going to gatekeep? But what is
And
gender to a
blindly.
fucking space marine?
Well, see, that's the other thing. What is gender to the Imperium? They are tools to get the job done.
Yes.
Life
Yeah.
is the Emperor's currency. Spend it well.
Yeah. I would still love, like we
It's
were
a
talking
very-
about before, like if the Emperor had to be put into Erda's body to survive after the throne breaks down, which would think about that one, Mitch. It's a wonderful idea. So yes, then the Emperor of Mankind would be female, or even if you start talking, it was a dream all along, and we've been Joan of Arc, and all the Primarchs are actually female, but they were written in as men. Or we just go the Primaris route, where we just fucking make the models, we release them, and come up with something afterwards.
Although I reckon if there was a time that they could have brought in female Space Marines, it probably would have been in Primaris, when Core was already fiddling around with stuff.
Yeah, but remember, they were too fucking scared to do what they wanted to do.
They really should have just released them as better scale.
Yeah,
They've been too
I
fucking
agree with
scared
that.
to do it since the 80s. Like we've already seen female warrior with Jane and Gabs that were in the original Rogue Trader stuff, and people saying Rogue Trader doesn't count. That's true. But there's an unreleased sculpt of a female Space Marine, which is tagged female Space Marine. I don't care what any gatekeeper says, that was unreleased in 1993. So this has been an idea that's been floating around for quite some time, post Rogue Trader.
Nah, obviously it's the woke feminazi
Yeah.
gay
course it
agenda.
Wokeness is definitely a thing.
And you have to spell woke with a 0 to make it impactful.
Mm-hmm.
What? This is
Wait,
why I hate the internet.
I spend time in right-wing spaces. What is this nonsense about spelling it with a 0?
I've never seen
yeah.
that before. I think Cal's just being a
Alright.
I'm
fuckhead.
pretty sure he's just being a fuckhead.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's
as we
basically
all
what
know,
the rest of us type because
um,
we're making fun of them.
as we all know, Disney is a communist corporation.
Yes, because that's a sentence that makes sense.
It is, obviously. And the damn communists are going to kill us all with their wokeness.
Yeah.
See, here's my actual arguments. Like something within scale of the law and history, and then obviously companies and franchises would be comic books, for example. Now,
Comic books are right wing except for now. Now they're woke,
Yes.
lefty, cuck,
very different
Yes.
now.
toy, faggot, cop, propaganda. There
Much
is
different
actually
to the 60s when Green
there
Knight,
is no there has
Green
never
Arrow
been a
was
point
being
until now
terrible.
when the comics have been pro LGBT or anti-racist ever.
Well, no,
Because
in the last 30
If
years,
things
there's
are
been a
not
big change.
explicitly explained to you, there's no such thing as subtext or subtlety or
No,
themes.
not at all.
Yeah, the
But
X-Men are definitely not a critique of race relations at
Of
all.
course not.
No, not
No.
even slightly.
But
What are you
see,
talking
here's
about?
the thing. Like, there wasn't even like obviously I wasn't around in the golden age of comics, but there has been very little to no backlash since that I've seen. And I've been reading comics all my life. I've gone back and spoken to a lot of people that were around since then. When female superheroes came into it, there was no backlash. There was no second guessing. There was, Wonder Woman wasn't going
Well,
to ruin Superman.
There's a reason for that, and you're not going to like it. Now, the reason for that is the people that fucking hated those things already hated comics.
Yes.
And the people who have a problem with these things now are projecting. At the end of the day, that is literally what they are doing. They're sitting back and they're going that they are projecting their own previous it's the same thing as like so we've talked we kind of talked about this, like, admittedly this is a niche website. It's not like, as far as I can tell, massively fucking supported.
Oh, Heaven 666.
No, Conservapedia.
Oh, good lord. Have you seen their
because
list of conservative video games?
that's what I'm getting
What?
to. So, for example, and this is admittedly a very nice thing to say. Fight Club is pro-masculine and anti-woke.
Clearly,
And yep. Fallout is anti-communist
I
and
love that so much.
pro-capitalist. What else is there?
Are these the same people that are shaming Pink Floyd because they have a rainbow in
Yes.
their
Yes.
The
new
exact same
profile?
These are the
people.
same
Yes.
people.
Doesn't
These-
matter. It's the 50th anniversary.
I mean, there's a
My-
good chance that
I
they're the
haven't
same
lost nearly
people that
enough
have an
brains.
issue with female space marines.
Zach, I haven't lost nearly enough brain cells. What are more games that are appropriate to conservatives? This has to
Okay.
be a troll, surely.
No, this
No,
guy
they're
is a
dead serious.
homeschooled fuckwit.
I feel that Red Dead Redemption comes into play
It
somewhere
does.
here.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Bioshock.
Bioshock.
So
Bioshock is clearly about family values.
Bioshock is pro-conservative and
Yep.
not an active, constant fucking critique of Ayn Rand's objectivism.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington. It belongs to the state. No,
Yes.
says the man in Rome. It belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow. It belongs to us all.
Yes.
In that voice, can you say KISS stands for Knights in Satan's Service?
KISS stands for Knights in Satan's Service.
Glorious.
That sounds like a VHS I had a very long time ago.
All right, I'm on here.
Oh,
I'm
good
on
lord.
here. Here we go. Serverpedia, the trustworthy encyclopedia.
And then
For when
coincidentally,
Wikipedia is
there's
too
a
woke.
banner for vote for Trump.
Because so Wikipedia is too anti-Christ and anti.
Look, that's getting very off topic. So,
Anyway,
before you go
so-
to do that, Zach,
No,
Yes.
it's heresy.
okay,
It's
it's fine. Jono can finish his show and then we can continue talking about
then
it.
we can talk about that. So, look, we're not going to do over under because we're already 11 minutes over time. Put in the comments.
9/11. Read into that what you will.
Yes. Put in the comments section what you want to see us either fix or tone down for next week's over under, and we will see you then. Toodaloo.
Female space marines should exist and law doesn't matter.